At the moment, making international payments can be a costly and time-intensive process. For banks or financial organisations who are making hundreds or thousands of payments every day, the cost can be extremely high. When you take into account the number of those processes which fail and cost the bank at least €10 each, then the costs just keep mounting. There is an easy and effective solution from Petra Financial, who are based in the City of London. Their software solutions are fully secure and web-based, so there's no need for an expensive installation. In fact, they can be implemented in a matter of weeks. So, how do they work? Well, part of the answer is a lot of very reliable and up-to-date information about banks from all over the world stored on one database. The data provider, CBNet, constantly updates the details on thousands of those banks. And Petra Financial have made it very easy for banks to access and use the data to validate payment instructions and to automatically route the payments. That's the beauty of the system. It's so simple to use and requires hardly any training. Our reporter, Caroline Kerr, has been to the headquarters of Petra Financial to meet the key players behind this innovative system.
Thanks, Martin. Thank you very much. I'm here with Stuart McKinnon from the European Payment Council. I'm also joined by Ian Dunning from CBNet and by Mark Bradbury from Petra Financial. Thanks very much for joining me, gentlemen. Can I start with you, Stuart? Can you explain to us what's wrong with the current payment system?
The basic problem is that we've got 31 different payment systems in Europe. These payment systems don't talk to each other. They're fragmented. What my organisation is trying to achieve is a single euro payment area, or SEPA for short. In January of this year, we launched the SEPA credit transfer system, which means that a person can make a payment from London to Berlin just as easily as a payment from London to Manchester. Next year, we're introducing the SEPA direct debit. So if one owned a property in Malaga and lived in London, we could pay the electricity bill in Malaga through the London bank account. So that's really what it's all about. Making it easier and cheaper for customers to make payments.
Ian, how can you ensure that the data you hold is accurate?
We take the data from all the code sources in Europe, these 31 different payments channels that Stuart was mentioning. But the problems really come about that we have to harmonise them, put them into a relational database, because we're having to check how to send something from London to Germany to Spain to whatever. And in addition, the 31 codes on their own are not enough. We have to enrich the data with information from each of the single banks in Europe, which is around 6,500. So the task is quite considerable, because it all has to be brought in, checked and put out, and then presented in a relational database. But then we have a problem that the banking systems are actually quite ancient in the main, and they can't deal with the sophisticated data easily that we produce. So there's still a lot of them, looking up books and checking things and keying things in. So what we're trying to do is to work with partners, particularly with Petra, to find an easy solution for the banks to integrate this data into their payment systems.
I mean, you have said, Mark, that Petra's system is a radical solution. What's so radical about it?
Well, as Ian has alluded to earlier, one of the big problems is that the data requirement for the banks is complex, and that the systems they use have been there for quite a long time. They're taking a long time to implement. There's a lot of investment in them. And what we've done as a group of people who've steeped in the payments world is built a set of utilities that enable taking this complex data and very, very simply integrate it into the bank's payment systems, and then provide the users, whether they be bank staff in their operations centre, whether it's in the branch, or whether it be corporate clients who are accessing it through a portal, to make, well, first of all, to verify a payment, make sure the data is correct using CBNet's data, and then carry out the whole payment transaction, whether it be to send a direct debit mandate to Madrid or to send money to Germany. All that has been done by the creation of these very simple, easy to implement utilities.
Well, you say they're easy to implement. How easy are they?
Well, that's the radical bit. From experience, I've had a lot of heartache in the past implementing payment systems that have taken years. Probably one of the reasons why I lost most of my hair was by putting these systems in. We believe this is an out-of-the-box solution. We're using the latest web technologies. We provide it as a service to the bank so they don't have to take it in-house. It's not an in-house project. And it can take literally a day to implement the necessary pieces of software so then they get complete access to the CBNet database.
And what about cost savings once they're using your system?
Well, once it's implemented, it's the ease of use for the end users, so they're not really looking at one system or looking at a book to verify the data. It's a simple, easy, automatic entry. The fact that we're using extremely high quality data means that the chances of the transaction going through are much higher, so the straight-through processing increases dramatically. And if we're increasing straight-through processing, then there'll be far less chargebacks to the bank for payments coming back and being inaccurate, so their investigation process is a lot less, and that makes some savings there as well.
Thank you very much. Thanks, gentlemen. Thanks for joining me.